In the beginning, there was only chaos, a vast emptiness. From this shapeless void, three more primordial deities emerged: Gaia, earth; Tartarus, the underworld; and Eros, love. With the presence of love, Gaia and Chaos, or two female deities, were able to create and shape everything known and unknown in the universe. Chaos gave birth to Erebus, darkness, and Nyx, night. Erebus united with his sister Nyx, and from their union came Ether, the bright upper air, and Hera, the day. Subsequently, feared by everyone except her brother, Night created a family of haunting forces all by herself. Among her offspring were the hateful Moros, fate; the black cur, doom; Thanatos, death; Hypnos, sleep; Oniroi, dreams; Geras, old age; Oisis, pain; Nemesis, revenge; Eris, strife; Apate, deceit; Phylides, sexual pleasure; Momos, blame; and the Hesperides, the daughters of the evening. At the same time, Gaia gave birth to Uranus, the starry sky, who became her husband and enveloped her from all sides. Together, they produced three sets of children: the three one-eyed Cyclopes, the 300-handed Centimanes, and the 12 Titans. However, Uranus was a cruel husband and an even crueler father. He despised his children and confined them in the hidden places of the earth, Gaia's womb. This enraged Gaia, and she conspired with her sons against Uranus. She fashioned a harp, a great adamant sickle, and tried to incite her children to attack Uranus. All were too frightened except the youngest Titan, Cronus. Gaia and Cronus set an ambush for Uranus. As Uranus prepared to lie with Gaia, Cronus castrated him with the sickle, hurling his severed genitals into the ocean. It is unclear what happened to Uranus afterward. He either died, withdrew from the earth, or exiled himself to Italy. From the blood that spilled on the earth from his castration emerged the giants, the Melii, the ash tree nymphs, and the Erinyes, the Furies. From the sea foam produced when his genitals fell into the ocean, Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, arose. Cronus became the next ruler. He imprisoned the Cyclopes and the Centimanes in Tartarus and appointed the dragoness camp to guard them. He married his sister, the Titaness Rhea, who bore him 5 children. However, Gaia and Uranus had both foretold that Cronus would eventually be overthrown by one of his sons. Much like his father, Cronus mistreated his children, devouring each of them at birth. Rhea, distressed by Cronus' treatment of her children, conspired against her husband. Following her mother's advice, when it was time to give birth to her 6th child, Rhea hid herself on Crete, leaving the newborn child to be raised by the island's nymphs. To conceal her act, she wrapped a stone in swaddling clothes and presented it as the baby to Cronus, who, unaware of her intentions, swallowed it. The child was Zeus, raised by the nymphs Adrastea and Ida, and the she-goat Amalthea. He quickly grew into a handsome youth in a cave on the Cretan Mount Ida. When the time came, he left Crete to seek advice from his future wife, the Titaness Métis, wisdom, on how to defeat Cronus. She prepared a drink that resembled Cronus' favorite wine but was designed to induce vomiting. Zeus disguised himself as the god's cupbearer and successfully administered Métis' drink to Cronus. The plan worked perfectly. Cronus began vomiting and expelled all of Zeus' 5 siblings, but only after regurgitating the stone. Known as Omphalos or the navel, the stone was later set up at Delphi by 2 eagles Zeus sent to meet at the center of the world. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Rhea's children Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon acknowledged Zeus as their leader. However, Cronus was still in power and yet to be defeated. Though too old to protect himself from his progeny's attacks, he enlisted the help of the faithful Titans, who also feared the new generation of gods. This led to a decade-long war between the Titans and the Olympians, remembered by generations as the Titanomachy. Atlas became the Titans' leader and led his armies to many victories. At one point, it seemed Zeus would be defeated. However, following Gaia's advice, he went to Tartarus and freed the Cyclopes and the Centimanes. In gratitude, the Cyclopes provided Zeus with his signature thunderbolt, They also made a trident for Poseidon and a helmet of invisibility for Hades. The tables had turned. However, as so many times before, the final victory was not due to brute force but a clever trick, possibly devised by Prometheus, who had deserted the Titans' army beforehand. Armed with boulders, the Centaurs set an ambush for the Titans. At the right moment, Zeus withdrew his forces, drawing the Titans into the Centaurs' trap. The hundred-handed ones unleashed a barrage of boulders with such fury that the Titans thought the mountains were collapsing upon them. They fled, and Zeus could finally consider himself the king of the universe. Zeus exiled the Titans who had fought against him into Tartarus, making an exception with Atlas, who was punished to hold the universe on his shoulders. Zeus' power would be challenged on a few occasions afterward. Just after the Titanomachy, his grandmother Gaia, outraged by her children's imprisonment, gave birth to her last child, the monstrous Typhon. He was so fearsome that most of the gods fled at the sight of him. However, Zeus did not hesitate. He faced the monster and, using his lightning bolt's power, defeated it. Typhon was subsequently buried under Mount Etna in Sicily. They say you can still hear him growling beneath the volcano and that someday in the distant future, he will return to challenge Zeus once again.